His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa arrived yesterday in the UK on a visit at the invitation of His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom, Great Britain and Northern Ireland, during which His Majesty the King will meet with His Majesty King Charles. Upon arrival, His Majesty the King was greeted with an honour guard salute. The visit aims to strengthen the long-standing friendship and close cooperation between Bahrain and the UK, reflecting the commitment of both countries' leadership to advancing these historic ties for the benefit of their peoples. Welcoming His Majesty on arrival were the representative of His Majesty King Charles III, Ron Spears, the commander of the RAF, Breeze Norton, base captain Louise Henton, and Bahrain's ambassador to the UK, Sheikh Fawaz bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, along with embassy staff. And now to shed light on His Majesty the King's visit to the United Kingdom upon the invitation of His Majesty King Charles III, we had this stand with our correspondent Mohammed Yusuf from London.
His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa arrived in the United Kingdom following an invitation from His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and head of the Commonwealth. The visit aims to enhance the bilateral friendly relations between the two countries and discuss ways to further strengthen the joint cooperation in all fields in order to benefit both kingdom and their peoples. Their Majesties exchanged a number of visits over the years to discuss the close historical relations between the two countries and ways to support and develop them in various fields. Over the decades, the relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom have been distinguished in various fields based on a long history of friendship and close ties and the mutual respect and agreements regarding many regional and international issues. Thanks to the support of His Majesty the King, with the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Bahrain-UK relations have developed through continuous meetings and mutual visits between the leaders of the two countries. The existing relations between Manama and London resulted in the signing of many agreements and MOUs with the aim of raising the level of partnership and bilateral coordination in all fields. Bahrain-UK relations are moving forward in achieving the aspirations of the leaders of the two countries in maintaining communication and consolidating cooperation at all levels to achieve the interests and the benefit for the both kingdoms and their peoples. From the United Kingdom, reporting for Bahrain International, I am Mohammed Yusuf. The Kingdom of Bahrain has close historical ties with the United Kingdom that span more than 200 years and are based on mutual respect and the promotion of common interests. The visit of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa to the United Kingdom to meet with His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and head of the Commonwealth comes to confirm the strong historical ties between the two friendly countries and the advanced level of bilateral cooperation and coordination. His Majesty the King has been keen to continue the close ties between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the UK, which was reciprocated by His Majesty King Charles III with the same interest and keenness which contributed to the growth of Bahraini-British relations in various fields. In order to improve the relations between the two countries and achieve the desired integration and cooperation in all fields, His Majesty the King made several visits to the United Kingdom. His Majesty King Charles III visited the Kingdom of Bahrain for the first time with Her Majesty the late Queen Elizabeth II on the late Queen's first official visit to Bahrain in mid-February 1979, during the reign of the late Sheikh Isa bin Salman Al Khalifa. In 1986, Crown Prince Charles of Wales paid his second visit to the Kingdom of Bahrain as part of a Gulf tour. The third visit of King Charles III was in 2007 as part of a 10-day Gulf tour, accompanied by his wife Princess Camilla, during which he met with His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, A successful visit by all standards that gave a positive indication to the strength and durability. A successful visit by all standards that gave a positive indication to the strength of relations between the two countries. A relationship that extends for more than 200 years, and a historical partnership reflected in many stations in the history of the two kingdoms, and consolidated the alliance and the protection of common interests between the two parties. This relationship was reflected in many aspects and resulted in many joint future visions between the two friendly countries. The Kingdom of Bahrain has close historical ties with the United Kingdom that span more than 200 years and are based on mutual respect and the promotion of common interests. And the visit of His Majesty the King to meet His Majesty King Charles III affirms the strength of these relations at all levels. From the United Kingdom, reporting for Bahrain International, I am Mohammed Yusuf.
The Kingdom of Bahrain and the UK have strong historical ties that grow stronger year after year, thanks to the support of the leaderships of the two friendly countries to support them in various fields. We have more in this report.
Over the past decades, relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom have grown in various fields, as they are based on a long history of a long-standing friendship and close ties, built on mutual respect and consensus on many common interests and pivotal regional and international issues. His Majesty the King, His Majesty King Charles III, and before him Her Majesty the late Queen Elizabeth II, worked diligently to consolidate these relations through many reciprocal visits which contributed to strengthening Bahraini-British relations. The existing relations between Manama and London resulted in the signing of many agreements, cooperation protocols and memoranda of understanding to raise the level of bilateral partnership and coordination in several different fields, including political, diplomatic, security, military, economic, cultural and educational and others. The year 1935 marked a qualitative leap in relations between Manama and London as it witnessed the transfer of the main British naval base in the Arabian Gulf to Bahrain, followed by the signing of the Treaty of Friendship between Bahrain and Britain in 1971. This treaty took Bahraini-British relations to advanced stages. After more than 200 years, Bahraini-British relations in various fields are moving forward in fulfilling the aspirations of the leaders of the two countries to maintain communication and consolidate aspects of cooperation at all levels to achieve common interests and benefit the two friendly countries and peoples.
And to elaborate on this topic, we have the following statement from Shura Council member Nancy Khadouri.
The bilateral relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United Kingdom is a long and deep historic relationship that stretches back to the 18th and 19th centuries, when the first treaty was signed between both countries in the year 1820. That treaty was known as the General Maritime Treaty, a treaty of peace that was further strengthened over the years. The close, deep-rooted friendship between both countries reflects more than just official and diplomatic ties. There was always something special on the personal level that we all witnessed between the two royal families, reflected by the relationship of affection, friendship and respect exchanged between His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, members of the Al Khalifa ruling family, with the British royal family members, represented by Her Majesty the late Queen Elizabeth II, His Majesty King Charles III, and other members of the British royal ruling family. The first official visit made by the late Queen Elizabeth II to Bahrain dated back to mid-February 1979 during the reign of the late Emir Sheikh Isa bin Salman Al Khalifa, God rest their souls. This official visit is just among a series of many mutual friendly visits between both countries that strengthens the already established deep-rooted relations and supports areas of close cooperation. Remember, both royal families have always been keen to ensure that the long-standing relations continue to develop further towards opening wider horizons for the benefit of our two friendly nations. The bilateral partnership has been significantly expanding, as we have witnessed during past years the signing of many agreements, cooperation protocols, memoranda of understanding to achieve the objective of raising the level of coordination in several different areas of expertise. Therefore, such friendly and regular visits helps to remarkably increase cooperation between both countries.
The Deputy King, His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, chaired the weekly cabinet meeting at Qudaibiya Palace today. The cabinet affirmed the importance of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's visit to the UK, Great Britain and Northern Ireland, undertaken at the invitation of King Charles III in furthering Bahrain-UK ties. The cabinet commended the long-standing Bahrain-UK relations and multi-sectoral partnership. The cabinet welcomed its newly appointed members following a royal decree issued by His Majesty and extended best wishes for success to Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Ahmed bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, the new Minister of Transportation and Telecommunications, and Osama bin Salah Al Alawi, the Minister of Social Development. The cabinet commended the outcomes of the visit of the Prime Minister of Montenegro, Milojko Spikes, and its importance in enhancing bilateral cooperation to meet shared goals. They welcomed the launch of the Global Youth Support Initiative Hope Network, in line with His Majesty's vision to support and invest in the Kingdom's youth, and based on the directives of the government led by His Royal Highness. The initiative was spearheaded by His Majesty the King's representative for humanitarian work, youth affairs, Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, to promote youth engagement and empowerment. The cabinet congratulated Bahrain's national volleyball team on winning the 23rd Arab Men's Volleyball Championship in Bahrain, celebrating this success as a significant addition to Bahrain's wide-ranging sports achievements. They extended best wishes for the success of the extraordinary Arab and Islamic Summit hosted by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, expressing hope that it will strengthen Arab solidarity and unify Arab nations' position to regional developments. The cabinet also congratulated U.S. President-elect Donald Trump on his victory in the U.S. presidential elections and commended the long-standing Bahrain-U.S. relationship spanning over 120 years. The cabinet then approved the following memoranda. The first submitted by the Government Executive Committee to enhance drug management and availability. A second submitted by the Civil Service Council on the restructuring of several government agencies to improve their performance and efficiency. A third submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on the Jeddah document of the Global High-Level Ministerial Conference on Antimicrobial Resistance. A third submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on an MOU between the Supreme Council for Health and the Saudi Commission for Health Specialities. A fifth submitted by the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Education and Training Quality Authority, on the approval of the authority's report. And a sixth memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on the government's response to two proposals and a law submitted by the Representative Council. The Cabinet then noted the following ministerial reports: one on Bahrain's participation in the 25th meeting of the GCC Ministerial Committee tasked with ensuring the implementation of decisions related to GCC joint work, and the other on the official visit of the Minister of Industry and Commerce to the UAE. The Deputy King, His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, met with the Chairman of the Shura Council, Ali bin Saleh Al Saleh, along with deputies, heads of committees, and members of both the Shura and Representative Councils at Gudaibiya Palace. His Royal Highness highlighted Teams Bahrain's dedication to advancing national initiatives and acknowledged their contributions and accomplishments in Bahrain's comprehensive development led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. His Royal Highness emphasized the crucial role of collaboration between the executive and legislative authorities in achieving Bahrain's accomplishments for the benefit of the nation and its citizens. He stressed the significance of aligning efforts to implement development projects and plans across various sectors while enhancing legislation to support the kingdom's comprehensive development goals. His Royal Highness underscored the importance of building upon achievements to fulfill the aspirations of Bahrainis, ensuring they align with Bahrain's comprehensive development goals. He also praised the Team Bahrain's determination and tireless efforts in driving Bahrain's accomplishments forward. He then emphasized Bahrain's commitment to adopting policies and implementing a range of initiatives and programs in collaboration with the private sector to create rewarding job opportunities for citizens, aligning with Bahrain's aspirations. And for their part, the Chairman of the Shura Council and the Chairman of the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Samir Nas, expressed their gratitude for His Royal Highness' dedication to supporting the kingdom's national development and reaffirmed their commitment to achieving Bahrain's long-term development goals. Samir Nas and senior officials also attended this meeting. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa sent an email today to all public sector employees. In the mail, His Royal Highness expressed gratitude to Bahrain's public sector employees for their efforts in advancing Bahrain's development and for their contributions to achieving the country's comprehensive development goals under the leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. He expressed pride in the skills and dedication of Bahrain's public sector workforce, highlighting their continued commitment to enhancing government work streams for the benefit of citizens and residents. His Royal Highness emphasized that the joint efforts and relentless determination of Team Bahrain continue to enhance Bahrain's comprehensive development. The 6th edition of the Government Innovation Competition, FICRA, provides public sector employees with the opportunity to submit ideas aimed at enhancing government efficiency. The competition aims to enhance the creativity and innovation of public sector employees. This competition is open to all public sector employees and can be accessed via the PMO's website. The representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Works and Youth Affairs, Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, congratulated His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa on Bahrain's national volleyball team winning the 23rd Arab Men's Championship hosted in Bahrain. His Highness Sheikh Nasser highlighted that this achievement reflects the continued growth of Bahrain's sports sector, a development championed by His Majesty to strengthen Bahrain's sports foundation and secure major accomplishments. He also expressed gratitude to His Majesty for his unwavering support of youth and sports in Bahrain. The representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Works, Youth Affairs and Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, congratulated His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa on Bahrain's national volleyball team winning the 23rd Arab Men's Championship in Bahrain. His Highness Sheikh Nasser highlighted His Royal Highness the Crown Prince's commitment to supporting the development of youth and sports, which significantly contributed to achievements at the Arab regional and global levels. He also expressed appreciation for the support of the government, led by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Prime Minister, which has played a vital role in advancing the sports sector and enabling these accomplishments. Bahrain's volleyball team made a historic achievement by winning the 23rd Arab Men's Championship after defeating the Qatari team in the final match with a score of 3-1, thus winning the Arab title for the 3rd time in its history. The Bahraini team continued its brilliance in the 2nd and 4th sets thanks to strong offensive and defensive performances, and the match ended with a score of 16-25. Assigned by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa participated in the extraordinary Arab and Islamic Summit. The summit was held under the presidency of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and was attended by the leaders of Gulf, Arab and Islamic countries, Crown Princes, heads of government and heads of delegations to discuss the continued Israeli aggression against the Palestinian territories and Lebanon, developments in the current situation and its repercussions in the region and actions in response to it. On behalf of His Majesty the King, the Deputy Prime Minister delivered Bahrain's speech during the summit.
صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير محمد بن سلمان بن عبد العزيز آل سعود ولي العهد رئيس مجلس الوزراء بالمملكة العربية السعودية الشقيقة حفظكم الله، أصحاب الجلالة والفخامة والسمو، معالي السيد أحمد أبو الغيط الأمين العام لجامعة الدول العربية، معالي السيد حسين إبراهيم طه الأمين العام لمنظمة التعاون الإسلامي، الحضور الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. فإنه ليشرفني أن أنقل إليكم تحيات سيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة الملك حمد بن عيسى آل خليفة ملك مملكة البحرين المعظم حفظه الله ورعاه، وسيدي صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير سلمان بن حمد آل خليفة ولي العهد رئيس مجلس الوزراء حفظه الله، وتمنياتهما بنجاح هذه القمة، معربين عن تقديرنا للمملكة العربية السعودية بقيادة خادم الحرمين الشريفين الملك سلمان بن عبد العزيز آل سعود، ودعم ومساندة صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير محمد بن سلمان بن عبد العزيز آل سعود ولي العهد رئيس مجلس الوزراء حفظهم الله، على هذه الدعوة الكريمة التي تعكس التزام المملكة الشقيقة طويل الأمد تجاه قضايا الأمتين العربية والإسلامية، وتفانيها في تحقيق الأمن والسلام والاستقرار في المنطقة. أصحاب الجلالة والفخامة والسمو، نجتمع اليوم في خضم الحرب المستمرة لأكثر من عام على غزة وامتدت إلى لبنان، مما أدى إلى تفاقم التوترات والتصعيد العسكري في المنطقة. إن الأزمة الإنسانية مروعة، حيث يعاني عدد لا يحصى من المدنيين الأبرياء من فقدان الأرواح والإصابات والحرمان من الحقوق الأساسية. وتفرض هذه التحديات الخطيرة على المجتمع الدولي اتخاذ إجراءات حاسمة والوفاء بمسؤولياته الإنسانية والقانونية، والعمل على الوقف الفوري والشامل لإطلاق النار، والحفاظ على أمن وسيادة الدول، ومنع تصعيد الصراع، وضمان وصول المساعدات الإنسانية دون عوائق، وحماية المدنيين ومنع تهجيرهم قسرياً وفقاً للقانون الإنساني الدولي. أصحاب الجلالة والفخامة والسمو، إن مملكة البحرين كانت ولا تزال تدعو إلى تحقيق سلام عادل ودائم في الشرق الأوسط، ونحن ملتزمون بحل القضية الفلسطينية باعتبارها ضرورة ملحة لحفظ حقوق جميع شعوب المنطقة في التعايش في أمن ووئام. وتماشياً مع تلك الدعوة ودعماً للجنة الوزارية العربية الإسلامية المشتركة التي تقودها المملكة العربية السعودية، تحث مملكة البحرين المجتمع الدولي وخاصة مجلس الأمن على الوفاء بمسؤولياته من خلال: أولاً، التجاوب الفاعل مع مبادرة مملكة البحرين والتي أقرتها القمة العربية قمة البحرين التي عقدت بالمنامة مايو المنصرم بشأن عقد مؤتمر دولي للسلام ودعم حقوق الشعب الفلسطيني في تقرير المصير وإقامة دولة مستقلة على حدود عام 1967 وعاصمتها القدس الشرقية. ثانياً، إرساء وقف فوري وشامل لإطلاق النار في غزة وجنوب لبنان، وإطلاق سراح الرهائن، وفتح الممرات الإنسانية، وبدء جهود إعادة الإعمار وتسهيل عودة اللاجئين، وإنهاء الاحتلال الإسرائيلي غير الشرعي، والحفاظ على الوضع التاريخي والقانوني للقدس، ومنع العنف والاستيطان في الضفة الغربية. ثالثاً، تنفيذ قرار مجلس الأمن رقم 1701 بشأن لبنان بكافة بنوده، والحفاظ على اتفاق الطائف لضمان أمن لبنان الشقيق واستقراره وسلامة أراضيه. رابعاً، تعزيز جهود الأمم المتحدة ووكالاتها في مجال حفظ السلام والمساعدات الإنسانية. وفي الختام، نجدد شكرنا للمملكة العربية السعودية الشقيقة وقيادتها الحكيمة على حسن تنظيم أعمال هذه القمة التي تجسد حرصنا المشترك على إيجاد حلول سلمية شاملة ومستدامة للقضية الفلسطينية، ولمختلف النزاعات القائمة في المنطقة، سائلين المولى عز وجل أن يوفقنا جميعاً لما يعود بالخير والسلام والنماء على شعوبنا وبلداننا الشقيقة في منطقة آمنة مستقرة وعالم أكثر عدلاً وسلاماً واحتراماً للحقوق والكرامة الإنسانية. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
He affirmed Bahrain's support for the Saudi initiative in cooperation with Norway and the EU to establish the international coalition for the implementation of the two-state solution. He underscored that these serious and urgent challenges compel the international community to take decisive action, fulfilling its humanitarian and legal responsibilities, work towards an immediate and comprehensive ceasefire, preserve the security and sovereignty of states, prevent the escalation of the conflict, ensure unimpeded humanitarian access and protect civilians, and prevent their forced displacement in accordance with the international humanitarian law. Sheikh Khaled said that Bahrain remains committed to resolving the Palestinian cause as an urgent necessity to preserve the rights of all peoples in the region. He called for an effective response to Bahrain's initiative to convene an international peace conference and support the Palestinian people's right to self-determination and the establishment of an independent state on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. He also emphasized the critical need for an immediate and comprehensive ceasefire in Gaza and southern Lebanon, the release of hostages, the opening of humanitarian corridors, the initiation of reconstruction efforts, the facilitation of refugee return, the preservation of Jerusalem's historical and legal status, and the prevention of violence in the West Bank. The extraordinary Joint Arab-Islamic Summit continues in the Saudi capital Riyadh with the participation of 50 Arab and Islamic countries. In his opening speech, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud reiterated Bahrain's categorical rejection of the military escalation in Gaza and the construction of the work of humanitarian agencies in Gaza. The leaders of Arab and Islamic countries participating in this summit emphasized that the expansion of the conflict from Gaza to Lebanon puts the future of the region at great risk, stressing that the absence of international law has helped expand the scope of the war. The leaders of their representatives are participating in the summit to discuss ways to reach a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and Lebanon. The Deputy Prime Minister, Sheikh Khaled bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, met with the Vice President and Deputy Prime Minister of the UAE, His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, on the sidelines of the extraordinary Arab and Islamic Summit. He emphasized that the strong ties between Bahrain and the UAE are built on solid foundations established by their forefathers, particularly highlighting the contributions of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the President of the UAE, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. He expressed optimism about the future of the two countries' relations, noting their steady progress towards a prosperous present through partnership, integration and coordination for mutual benefit. Sheikh Khaled praised the pivotal role of the UAE in further enhancing security and stability in the region and globally, commending its efforts to promote peace, tolerance and peaceful coexistence among nations. The Deputy Prime Minister also met with Oman's Foreign Affairs Minister, Saeed Al-Busaidi, in response to the invitation from the custodian of the two holy mosques to participate in the Arab and Islamic Summit. The Deputy Prime Minister praised the strong and convergent Bahraini-Omani relations, highlighting the care they receive from His Majesty the King and His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq of Oman, adding that the two countries have witnessed progress, achieving common goals and aspirations. The summit aimed to discuss the continued Israeli aggression on Palestine and Lebanon, the current situation, its repercussions in the region, and the action taken in response to them. The Deputy Premier emphasized Bahrain's desire to enhance bilateral cooperation with Oman, maximizing the benefits of their shared capabilities and expanding joint work. Assigned by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, another invitation of King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, the custodian of the two holy mosques, the Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa arrived in Saudi Arabia to lead Bahrain's delegation at the extraordinary Arab and Islamic Summit. Upon arrival, Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah was received by the Deputy Governor of Riyadh, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Abdurrahman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, the Mayor of Riyadh, His Highness Prince Dr. Faisal bin Abdulaziz bin Ayyaf, and Bahrain's ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Sheikh Ali bin Abdurrahman Al Khalifa. The delegation included the Minister of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Waqf, Nawaf bin Muhammad Al Mauda, and senior officials. And on this occasion, the Deputy Prime Minister, Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, made a statement where he expressed gratitude for being entrusted by His Majesty the King to lead Bahrain's delegation to the extraordinary Arab and Islamic Summit. He thanked the custodian of the two holy mosques and the Saudi Crown Prince for organizing this summit, which he noted was a continuation of last year's joint Arab-Islamic Summit in Riyadh. Sheikh Khalid emphasized the summit's importance in unifying efforts to address the challenges facing the Arab and Islamic nations, particularly in light of the escalating situation in Palestinian territories and its expansion to Lebanon. He stressed the need for intensive efforts to achieve a comprehensive solution to ensure security and stability in the region. He also expressed gratitude to Saudi Arabia for hosting this historic summit. He then highlighted the deep integration and coordination between Bahrain and Saudi Arabia and praised the deep leadership of both countries, highlighting the role of His Majesty the King, the custodian of the two holy mosques, and the crown princes and prime ministers of both kingdoms in strengthening these relations. He also reiterated Bahrain's confidence in the summit to unify Arab and Islamic efforts towards a more secure and peaceful future. He affirmed Bahrain's full support for initiatives aimed at achieving a lasting peace, promoting cooperation, understanding and dialogue in the region and globally. Sheikh Khalid emphasized Bahrain's commitment to justice and dignity for all peoples, highlighting the importance of this summit in addressing regional challenges and working towards comprehensive solutions for security and stability. And for more details, we're now joined over by the phone by political analyst Abdullah Al-Alami from Riyadh. Hello and welcome, Mr. Al-Alami. Can you tell us about the importance of holding the joint Arab-Islamic Summit at this time?
Thank you for the invitation. The importance may be summarized in one sentence. I'm referring to the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman emphasizing on renewing Saudi Arabia rejection of Israeli attacks in Gaza and the violations of Lebanon independence. That basically summarizes in his opening statement during the extraordinary Arab and Islamic Summit in Riyadh this afternoon. Prince Mohammed, the Crown Prince, criticized the obstruction of humanitarian agencies' work in Gaza and also rejected diminishing the role of the Palestinian Authority. By the way, let's not forget that Israel had formally notified the UN of the decision to sever ties with UNRWA, the UNRWA, after Israeli lawmakers backed the move last week. So today, the international community must immediately halt the Israeli actions against our brothers in Palestine and Lebanon. That's what Prince Mohammed bin Salman said. He's also condemned the Israelis' campaign in Gaza as genocide.
Political analyst Abdullah Al-Alami, thank you very much for your time. In implementation of the directive of the custodian of the two holy mosques, the Joint Arab-Islamic Summit was held in Riyadh to discuss ways to reach a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and Lebanon. We have more in this report.
As a result of the events taking place in the Palestinian territories and Lebanon, the Joint Arab-Islamic Summit held in Riyadh aims to discuss stopping the military escalation, ways to protect civilians, and pressuring the international community to find sustainable solutions that guarantee stability and peace in the region. Given the role of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in serving Islam and Muslims and defending their causes, and its responsibility towards Arab and Islamic issues in general, and the Palestinian cause in particular, this summit, which came under the guidance of the custodian of the two holy mosques, was held as an extension of the Joint Arab-Islamic Summit held in Riyadh on November 11, 2023, based on the belief of the leaders of Arab and Islamic countries on the importance of unifying efforts and coming up with a unified collective position that expresses the common Arab-Islamic will regarding the dangerous and unprecedented developments in Gaza and the Palestinian territories that require the Arab and Islamic unity, in addition to the developments in Lebanon. The Arab-Islamic Summit was preceded by several meetings held by the Ministerial Committee with a number of leaders and officials, which concluded the need to immediately stop the military escalation, secure safe corridors for the entry of aid, and revive the peace process in accordance with international resolutions. The 2024 Joint Arab-Islamic Summit emphasized the importance of enabling the Palestinian people to achieve their legitimate rights to establish an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital, and urged the international community to assume its responsibilities and move towards stopping the escalation in Lebanon and prevent it from spreading.
Bahrain hosts the 20th GCC CIGRE International Conference and 30th Exhibition for Electrical Equipment GCC Power 2024, organized by the Regional Committee for Electrical Power Systems for the GCC in cooperation with the Electricity and Water Authority. The President of IWA, Engineer Kamal Mohammed, indicated that the GCC Power 2024 is a pioneering platform to enhance cooperation between Bahrain and the GCC, in addition to discussing opportunities and challenges. The conference brought together a group of experts and specialists to exchange knowledge and discuss future trends in the energy sector with the aim of enhancing innovation and activating joint efforts to achieve sustainable development goals.
SIGRE providing opportunity for all professionals and all specialists in the electricity sector to meet and discuss challenges, especially that meeting facing our local GCC countries. So this is a great opportunity for all specialists to meet and discuss.
TB is a group company in China specialized for the power transmission and the transformation. We have 4 industries, which is power transmission and transformation, and renewable energy, new material, and the traditional power. We have provide IWA with our 66 kV and 220 kV cable feeder projects, which now is under execution. And we have supplied power transformer, GIS in the region also to the different utility companies.
We are in the grid sector. We have a very strong presence in Bahrain. We have been working in Bahrain more than 20 years. We have supported the Bahrain grid system by building more than 166 kV substations, and we are having close collaboration with Electric Water Authority in Bahrain. GE Vernova is working in the energy sector, so we have different divisions. We have power division, wind division, and electrification. So we represent electrification division, and we are dominating the market with our solutions, especially in the electrification sector in Bahrain.
Our main activity here in Bahrain is the transmission line, underground cables, distribution, power substation, and as well we are acting as an EPC contractor for a solar power plant.
Algeria's embassy in Bahrain hosted a reception marking the 70th anniversary of the Al-Fatah Revolution on November 1954. The event was attended by the Minister of Health, Dr. Jalila Hassan, the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Consular and Administrative Affairs, Dr. Isa bin Nasser al-Nuaimi, along with diplomatic representatives accredited to Bahrain. The Undersecretary highlighted the ties between the two nations across various fields and the shared cooperation in many sectors. The Bahrain Institute for Political Development and the Gulf Federation of Journalists held a seminar titled The Role of Digital Media and AI in Shaping Political Awareness. That was attended by the Minister of Information, Dr. Ramzan bin Abdullah al-Nuaimi, BIPD Board Chairman, Dr. Ali bin Mohammed al-Rumaihi, and Gulf Union of Journalists Chairman, Isa al-Shaiji. Al-Rumaihi stressed the need to enhance political awareness to face the growing challenges in societies, noting that rapid access to individuals has become a basic requirement to prevent the spread of incorrect or incomplete information and to avoid misunderstanding of political decisions. Al-Shaiji stressed that cooperation with the Institute comes within the strategy of the Gulf Union to enhance cooperation between media and academic institutions in the region. The Minister of Transportation and Telecommunications, Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, inspected a visit to the Sakhir Air Base to review the latest preparations for the launch of the Bahrain International Air Show 2024. He said that Bahrain's hosting of this exceptional event proves that Bahrain is taking steady steps towards the future and continues to be an attractive environment for investments, thanks to the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Prime Minister. Noting the distinguished and remarkable efforts made by the personal representative of His Majesty the King and the chairman of the Supreme Organizing Committee of the Bahrain International Air Show, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa.